That sound means it's time for another episode of the MLB Guardcast. I am Mike Vorhies. He is Bryan Shaw. And no, we are not in the American League Division Series. Bryan, how are you?
I'm good. It's unfortunate end of the season, but I still think that there were some positives to take away from it, and it was a really exciting 5 weeks.
It definitely was. I mean, we made history. 15 and a half games back in early July. We made a run, and I thought it was going to be even better. We lose game 1 to Tarek Skubal, and then we win game 2, which you were at. So then I thought I could repeat the performance. I went to game 3, and unfortunately they lost. And the season ended. I will say, I think the thing that frustrated me the most was Jack Flaherty. Standing on the field after
His
the game was over. Well, no, him standing on the field after the game and waving to all the Guardians fans. That just to me that made me dislike him even more. So, but it is unfortunate. The Guardians.
Yeah, I didn't see that.
Yeah, we didn't leave right away because there were so many people. So we were around a lot of older fans, and then some fans that had some younger children. So we decided to let them leave first and just kind of hang out and wait. And watching them celebrate on the field was an image that I did not think that would bother me as much as it did. But then to see Flaherty just standing there doing this to all the fans, I was like, wow, dude.
I mean, are you shocked? Are you surprised?
It's
given
Detroit.
The rivalry with the team, are you surprised by that?
It's the Detroit. I mean, no, but I don't know if the tables were reversed.
Last season, you had Tarek Skubal tell the fans to shut the F up.
Yeah.
So I mean, there's clearly some bitterness.
That's because he couldn't handle the heat here in Cleveland. That's fine. It's okay. It's okay. I digress. I take a deep breath. It was a very memorable season, seeing the progression, seeing everything that we saw. But man, oh man, how nice it would have been to beat the Tigers. I don't think I'd be as upset as if we beat the Tigers and then we'd be tied with Seattle right now 1-1 like Detroit is. But I get it. Not everything is as it seems. So it's.
Yeah. So where do you want to start? Do you want to talk about the Detroit-Seattle series? Do you want to recap the Guardians-Tigers series?
Let's recap the Guardians-Tigers series because I think there's some tidbits of information that I know you shared in our Network 216 group page that
I have my reasons why I think they lost.
I'd love to hear it because I have mine as well.
I'll start with the glaring one. There was a lot of people that wanted to talk about payroll and what you did in the offseason and the offense. And yes, clearly the offense was not great this season. During the stretch in September, it was much better. I believe they were 5th in runs scored in September, something like that. I'd have to look at last time's episode to remember. But in this series, I did not feel like the supporting cast was the issue on offense. On the game that I was there, I mean, you had George Valera, who was dead to everybody in this city in terms of his existence in Cleveland, hitting key home runs. You had playoff Rocchio show up. You had Bo Naylor hit a home run. Jose got walked a million times. Did they run out of
gas after game 2?
I don't know if they ran out of. Well, yes, in a way, but not the offense. Here's where I think the glaring issue was. Stephen Kwan and Kyle Manzardo were 3 for 23 in the series.
See, you text me that.
Your stars got to show up.
That's not right. I was like, there's no way. And then I went back and looked, and I was like, oh my gosh, he's dead on.
Those are supposed to be your two of your best players. Let's say 2 of your top 4 offensive guys Manzardo was second this season, and they didn't show up. We want to talk about protecting Jose Ramirez and how many times the Tigers walked Jose or really just didn't give him an opportunity to make an impact. And Kyle needed to make them pay, and he didn't do it. He had one hit. He had a double.
And I had been saying for a while that I didn't feel that Manzardo should be hitting fourth. But then you raised an excellent question. If not Kyle, then who? Exactly.
And
who else could have hit fourth?
And Jonathan Rodriguez ended up hitting fourth in the first game because it was the lefty-righty matchup.
What did he do? Nothing. That's right. He booted a ball in right center field because he's not the best defensive right fielder in the game. So I get it. I get it.
Got a few times.
Yeah, he did strike out. He did.
Well, I mean, sure, but that was also against Skubal. And if you look at the current Tigers, Seattle series,
he was on one game one. He was on game one.
He made them look silly out there, and I think not having David Fry would have been valuable in that game. I think Lane Thomas, had he been healthy this season, would have been valuable in that game. You just don't have a lot of righty hitters that you could have relied on. John Kenzie Noel probably isn't even going to be here next season. We can get to that a little bit later. So that was my biggest takeaway in terms of the offense was your stars didn't star. They didn't show up. At least two of the best ones that you would expect that they need to show up in the playoffs, especially Stephen Kwan. He had a below average hitting season this year. He had I think it was a 96 OPS plus. Yes, a 96 OPS plus. He wants big contract. He wants an extension. You need to have. He's had 2 above average hitting seasons and 2 below average hitting seasons so far in his 4 years in Cleveland. He's not going to get a big contract having an on-off season like that. Now, granted, yes, defense is still fantastic. He's going to win a Gold Glove, so on and so forth. But we needed better from him. He can't have a 705 OPS in the season and be a leadoff. We needed better from him.
I think.
And I think it's as simple as that. I really do. Like it's And sometimes you just get beat. So I wanted to bring back the Tigers Seattle series because both teams scored 5 runs in 2 games. So Detroit pitching has pretty much shut down Seattle so far. They had a rally last night to win that game, and I didn't realize it was their first home playoff win in 24 years. Don't take off.
Yeah, that was awesome.
Like that. Then I think the second bit, whereas you talked about did they run out of gas, is I think Stephen Vogt mismanaged the bullpen.
I'm glad somebody's saying it. I said it live in that stands. I was unhappy with the way that whole scenario. Well, obviously, I don't think anybody was thinking that Slade Ciccone wouldn't even get out of the 3rd inning. I don't think that ever crossed anybody's mind. I thought he'd at least give us.
But did they yank him too early? Did they not even give him really an opportunity?
He didn't have it. Clearly, he didn't have it. It could be a little bit of the umps kind of squeezing that strike zone, but in all honesty, Brian, it didn't. From my vantage point in right field, it looked like he did not have it. So
okay, and then what about Cantillo? Because we had talked about butting the two starters back to back. They didn't give Cantillo any length either.
And he puts Heron in between the two. And I was like, wait a minute, what?
I mean, like, okay, I guess fine, whatever.
Okay. Yeah, but then Cantillo comes out and he didn't have it either.
But Hunter Gaddis pitched 3 days in a row, ended up on 49 pitches.
Never a good thing. Never.
Cade Smith pitched 3 days in a row, ended up at 58 pitches. And we're surprised that they imploded? I'm not.
Yeah. I know.
You were
not once you put those stats up. Yeah. Your starters didn't get you any length. You decided to carry 11 pitchers and 15 position players. Did that come back to bite you? I think so.
You know what? That's a great point. I didn't even think about that until you just mentioned it now. Like I kind of forgot that was a thing, but yeah. Could you have used another arm?
You could have used 2 in my opinion.
I
Logan
mean, you
Allen
were
could have
allowed
been
two more.
here.
Yeah.
Parker Messick could have been here. I mean,
yeah, I didn't like.
That was poorly done. And kudos to Chase DeLauder. I'm glad that he got here. I'm glad that he had his major league debut. I'm glad that he got his first hit. All of that stuff is great, but I still am completely baffled that you played him all game 2 and 3. Game 1 was Angel, right?
In center field.
Yeah, or was that Valera?
In game 1, it was it was
Jonathan
Rodriguez
Rodriguez
in right
was in
field.
right.
And so yeah, Angel.
Okay. So Angel was in center. Angel didn't even after one game. He didn't. We didn't see Angel in game 2 or 3.
Well, he's not been good.
And we didn't see Petey Halpin in game 3 at all.
I didn't really expect to see Petey. I mean, there wasn't a scenario for him.
No. And I mean,
but all right. So, but then let me ask you this too. So, I heard some national guys, some beat writers, they agreed with the decision to bring back Cade in game 2 for the 9th inning when you were up 5.
Yeah, I don't understand that. I would
not
have.
Should you have shut down Cade when you went up big? Should you and then saved his bullets?
Gaddis
for game 3.
Heron. I would have pitched Kobe Allard.
I think Allard would have been able to get
Matt
it done, yes.
Fista pitch. I would have let anybody other than those 3 guys, Sobrowski,
after you got the lead,
those guys should not have seen the field.
Home runs, yeah.
Those guys should have stayed in the bullpen, and you have other arms that could have gotten the job done to close it. Then you get to game 3, but again, in game 3,
they learned from it.
Yeah, but in game 3, we had no offense. We looked lost at the plate. We really did. I'm thankful we didn't record.
I mean, it wasn't great either, but again,
yeah.
But like I said, your stars didn't show up. They weren't there. They didn't. The
Tigers figured it out that there was nobody before Jose Ramirez, and there was nobody after Jose that was going to hurt them. Game 3, they figured that out.
I mean, Valera ended up having a pretty good series.
I think you've met your new everyday right fielder.
Yeah, we can talk about that too. That is an interesting development towards the end of the season here. But the thing is that Valera, by game 3, Valera already had done a bunch. Rocchio had already done a bunch. So to ask them to then continue to be hot through the entire series is asking
that's a huge. That's a huge ask.
When Quan and Manzardo hadn't done anything, and like I said, sometimes you just get beat, and in a 3-game series, that's the unfortunate part about being the worst of the division winners, that you have to play that short wild card series.
Well, and we played those guys in a series in Detroit. Then we play them in a series in Cleveland, and then we have to play them again in the postseason. So you saw all the pitchers potentially 3 times.
Yeah, what was it, 9 times in 2 weeks?
Yeah, I mean, that's a lot. That's a lot to ask for.
It is.
And when the stars don't show up and the offense can't get it done, and you give up an absolute nuke to Dylan Dingler, game 3, Joey Cantillo, that pitch cannot be there. And you left it up, and he absolutely smoked it. The kids from Massillon, Ohio, went to Jackson High School, so shout out to him. That's kind of cool that he's a local kid, but that pitch can't be there. I don't know what he was doing. If that's fatigue, if it's
probably
that slipped. Yeah, I mean, as soon as he swung, we all in right field were like, oh, no. Because we were in that game until that point.
Yeah.
When that home run got hit, everybody in that stadium went quiet. You could hear a pin drop. And I was like, oh, no. No. this can't be happening. Well, then we all know what happens next. They give up a few more runs. We tried to make it interesting. I mean, the Guardians didn't quit. I'm thankful for that. The bat showed up a little late.
Right. Yeah.
Jose getting thrown out at second was awful.
You hate to.
But hats off to Jose for trying. Like, I'm not mad at him that he got thrown out at second base. I'm excited that he continues to hustle all the time.
He got thrown out at second base. He got caught stealing. And then in game 1, got pegged out at home plate.
Right.
So,
but at least he was trying.
There's also those plays that led to losing the series.
He was doing too much. Because he knew that nobody else was going to help him.
Yeah, that's valid. All right, so we put a pin on that. You know, it's unfortunate, but I want to recap. I want to recap the season a little bit. I want to go over some things of just kind of things that have happened, and if at the beginning of the season I had told you these are things that are going to happen, I want you to just kind of digest it all and say like how you thought the season would go. If I told you that, hang on, let's start with the pitching. If I told you Tanner Bybee was going to have a 4.24 ERA, if I told you Emmanuel Clase was going to get suspended, if I told you Luis Ortiz was going to get suspended, if I told you Tim Herron, where's Tim Herron? Who was, a beast for you last year. If I told you Tim Herron was going to have a 4.85 ERA, if I told you Ben Lively was going to need Tommy John, if I told you Stephen Kwan was going to have a 96 OPS plus, Carlos Santana an 82 OPS plus, and you're only
Shane Bieber was going to get traded.
Shane Bieber was going to get traded. Thank you. That's a good one. And your only regulars that had an OPS plus over 100, so above average hitting seasons, would be Jose Ramirez and Kyle Manzardo. If I told you Nolan Jones was going to have a 68 OPS plus, which, for anybody wondering what OPS plus is, any plus stat, 100 is average. And then, however below 100 you are.
Think of grade school. 100% was always amazing, right? It's an A plus. Anything
that's not
less than that.
No, 100 is average.
Oh, 100 is average. Okay.
100 is average. So if you are a 32, if you're a 68, you're 32% below average. If you're a 96 with Stephen Kwan, you're 4% below average. With Jose, he was 137 OPS plus, so he's 37% above average. And then Kyle Manzardo, 110 OPS plus. So the plus stats are all based off 100 is average, and then
who was our worst OPS plus?
That would be John Kenzie Noel at a 31.
Yeah, but he didn't play much.
All right. So from an everyday standpoint,
Angel
Martinez, 73.
Yeah, okay. So not Gabriel Arias like I would have guessed. Okay.
Arias was close, 76.
Okay. Well, I'd have been.
So if I had told you all that, would you think that they were winning the division?
No, absolutely not. No, absolutely not. You lose one of the best closers in the game. Ben Lively gets hurt. We could have used him this year. Ortiz, we could have used him too. I mean, all of those things. No, with all of those stats, no. I'd have said, they're going to finish like third in the division, something like that.
So there's a retrospective of that, and yes, I get the emotion of the roller coaster of it was really exciting 5 weeks, and then it comes crashing down, and it was really disappointing. But there's a retrospective that you kind of have to give the season of when you look at it as a whole of like by June, you were like, oh, this season's awful. This is going to be terrible.
I thought that in July too.
And it ended up not being a terrible season. It ended up
Oh, they made
being
it
like
very interesting at the end. They really did.
so. Now, granted, I think in the off season, and we can go here next. We can play a little bit of a little game that I think will be interesting.
Sure.
Is I think you have finally seen the end of some guys that you've just been kind of they've just been kind of middling, and we've been talking about, oh well, if this guy develops and we're gonna get a look at this guy and we got to give him every day at bats and da 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 da. And because that's the thing, that's the part about the yelling about hitters and stuff is personally, I think the payroll has been irrelevant. I think our hitting development has been a bigger factor. If Bo Naylor continues to grow off of what was his last 2 months of his initial season in 2023, we're not talking about the payroll. If Gabriel Arias actually develops into an above average hitter, we're not talking about the payroll. If we could get a right fielder, we're not talking about the payroll. If John Kenzie Noel or Oscar Gonzalez or any of these guys develop into even average hitters, we're not talking about the payroll. Brian Rocchio has shown glimpses, but I can rattle off a million of these guys that have come up, and we've heard about these prospects and how great this middle infield is going to be, and we've collected all these middle infield prospects, and they've amounted to nothing. And I had talked about this during the 10-game losing streak, but that is where I place the blame. That is because if you can't develop your guys, and that's what you're aiming to do, and you're not doing that, then you're not going to win, and you're going to have a terrible offense. So, like I said, let's play a little game here.
Sure. Cue the Jeopardy
We'll
theme
start
music.
with some time on the injury list due to Tommy John. David Fry, keep or go?
I think he stays. I think that he did get injured. I would have said he was gone until Tarek Skubal hit him in the face, even though it was kind of David Fry's fault too. I think he means a lot to Cleveland, and I think that he could be a valuable asset off the bench, especially against left-handers. I really do.
I agree, and I think he'll end up being the backup catcher next season, if not like an emergency catcher. So I think he has some value there. I agree. I think he stays, and I think he'll make the team. All right. Next on the list is Nolan Jones.
No, goodbye. Go. See you later, Nolan. I mean, you've had chances. This isn't Coors Field. You proved that you cannot hit here in Cleveland. Now I say that, and we'd cut him, and he's going to latch on elsewhere, and he'll have a 40 home run season, just like what happened with Will Benson down in Cincinnati. And it'll happen. I mean, it's bound to happen. But no, I think Nolan Jones has played his last game.
I agree as well on that one too. Hang on, I gotta see what Will Benson did this year. I mean, I know he had 12 home runs. Don't be dramatic.
That's all he hit.
Yeah, it's because 6 of them were against us.
Oh, I was gonna say 6. I thought he had way more. Sorry. He just owns.
Yeah, he had an 88 OPS plus this year. He didn't have that great of a season. It's just that he crushed.
Better than Nolan Jones, but better than Nolan Jones.
You're right. That is better than Nolan Jones. All right, so I agree there. Nolan Jones is on the outs. He is also out of options. So, and I believe, is arbitration eligible.
Trade bait.
So I would say, well, I don't even know if they'll get anything for trading him. It'd probably be a player to
I'll take a bag
later.
Of balls.
Well,
I'll take money.
Yeah, it might be. He's arbitration eligible. I think he's a non-tender candidate, and then he just ends up as a free agent.
That's great.
All right. So this one's tough because I don't know. So similar situation. Will Brennan had to have Tommy John, and even if he did come back, he's missing probably half the season and wouldn't be effective. He, I believe, is also arbitration eligible. What do you do there?
I'd like to see him for a full season. We gave Nolan Jones a chance, and Jones didn't do it. I think Will Brennan could be a great hitter. I do, if he plays every day.
Okay.
I would like to see. I mean, maybe he starts the year in Columbus. I don't know if he has any options left. He probably doesn't.
I'm
But
not sure on him, but
I mean, even still, we kept David Fry, even though David Fry had a buck 75
but
because he
David
was hurt.
Fry had a huge year last year. He had an
He did.
OPS over 800 last year.
Will Brennan did not. But I wouldn't be sad if Will Brennan left. But I would like to see them give him a chance to prove himself.
I think Will goes.
Okay, that's fair.
I think we've seen the last of Will Brennan, unless you basically. I'm trying to see how many options he's got left. Unless you find a way to allow him to rehab here, I think we might have seen the last of Will Brennan. So that's the first we don't agree on. And also, I think we've seen the last of Will Brennan because as we get farther down this list, and something that you had talked about, I actually think the outfield conversation has completely changed after this playoffs.
Well, and the person we discussed can play multiple positions. So, but I'll share my thoughts once
Brennan has 2 options left.
Then you bring him back and you shove him down in AAA and you let him figure it out.
Oh.
Well, I'm waiting to see if you come back here. Is it me or is it you?
Back.
Is it me or you? Is it you? Me? You? Me? You? Me? We are stuck. I've got full internet. This is crazy.
I'm not sure. I can hear you.
I don't know either. Okay, but you froze quite a bit. You froze.
I'm frozen.
You were.
Still?
You're not now. No, you're good.
Oh, okay.
You're good. You're
I'm back. All right.
You're back.
The fog has lifted. The earth has shifted. We are back. All right.
Yes.
Sorry about that.
All right. So I would say if Brennan's got options, stick him down in AAA.
Okay. Agreed.
Stick him down in AAA.
But not on the major league roster. Let him rehab. He's going to be injured. All those things.
Correct.
All right. Next guy is Daniel Schneemann. Keep or go.
Schneemann is one of those guys where I would say goodbye. I mean, he showed that he could do it at times, and then there were other times where he just looked completely lost. So, I mean, he's another candidate I'd throw down at AAA, and if we need him, we can call him.
So I'm going to go the opposite on you on this one too. So I would rather see Schneemann play than Will Brennan play.
Okay.
They're both lefties, and Schneemann can play all over the field.
Schneemann can play everywhere, right?
And so I would rather see Schneemann on this team in a utility role than Will Brennan be here. And as we get, I'll give you a teaser to what I'm thinking ahead is I would start Daniel Schneemann starting the season next year at second base.
I'll argue that one. Nope.
Okay. We'll get to that.
I think Schneemann's a utility guy, if anything.
Okay, but there's a reason I said start him at second base is because you're expecting Travis Bazzana to be here. So
no,
but he's not going to get called up right away.
No, I have another fielder that I think will be in that position.
Okay. We'll get to that in a moment. Brian Rocchio, stay or go?
Yes, he is your starting shortstop. Agreed. I think Rocchio has shown so much growth over the last couple of months, and even in the Detroit series, he was hitting the ball. So I think you put him at short and you tell him, listen, there's nobody looking over your shoulder yet.
Yeah, I like Brian Rocchio for the starting shortstop next season. I hope he can continue to build off of after he got an option and what he's done in October. I hope next year is the year that we were hoping he was going to have this year, and I hope he can do that. and I hope it's at shortstop. Gabriel Arias, he's next. Stay or go.
Goodbye.
Yeah, I've had enough.
Gabby, you've had multiple options, multiple chances. When you're swinging at crap in the other batter's box, enough's enough. I can't stand that. You have been here long enough. You have no plate discipline at all. You struggle immensely. So good luck.
Yeah.
Go play for a different team, and maybe we'll see you down the road. I don't know.
I mean, for 3 seasons, we've seen the same thing. It doesn't feel like there's been growth. And, you have to wonder who's to blame for that. Is it Arias himself, or is it, again, our development? But either way, I think it's time to move on there.
I think the Yankees are looking
list,
for a shortstop. So we could send Gabriel Arias to the Yankees. They need a shortstop.
Next is Angel Martinez. Stay or go.
The fact that he can play all over the place, I like him, but he struggled and pretty much disappeared for the last few months. So I'm on the fence with him. I think I'd be okay.
I will
either
say
way.
this. Let me give you something to compare. We were talking about Daniel Schneemann. Given Daniel Schneemann's defense as well, he ended up with a 1.9 WAR. Angel ended up with a negative 0.7 WAR. I don't want to give up on Angel. He's very young, but I think he needs to spend a lot of next year in AAA. So I say, go as in spend time in AAA, work on one side of the plate. I don't think he should be a switch hitter any longer. And go from there. I don't know what his predominant side is, but
I think it's the right side. He had a higher. Hammy had brought it up in one of the broadcasts. He hits lefties well from the right side, but then from the left side, not so much.
And then also like maybe pick a position for him. Is it center field? Yeah. Have him work on the center field aspect and reading balls.
He's a heck of a defender. Heck of a defender. So
okay, next up is John Kenzie Noel.
Goodbye. See ya.
Yeah, he's gone.
Goodbye. Big Christmas. You know what? You have so much potential, but you can't find it. So go find it somewhere else, not here in Cleveland.
Yeah. I think he goes. Now the rest of the guys,
Jonathan Rodriguez, he can go too.
Oh yeah, I didn't have him, but yes,
agreed. Jonathan Rodriguez can go too. His defense is awful.
He's a quad A guy. He crushes in AAA, but just can't. It doesn't translate to the majors. So I'll agree there. The rest of the guys I have are not, like goodbye off the team guys, but do they start next season with the team, or do they start next season in AAA? The first is CJ Kefas.
Oh, he's your first baseman. He's going to platoon in right and in first. I think he's on the team. I had the same.
George Valera. You kind of said it earlier.
He's your starting center fielder. In my opinion, I think you put him in
center field. I do.
If Kwan doesn't want to move from left to center, I think Kwan would be an amazing center fielder. I don't
know if I want to do that either. I like Kwan. I like Kwan in left field.
Okay, then Kwan stays in left. I would say Valera plays center or right. But he is on the team.
Chase DeLauder.
AAA until he can, just to prove to me that he can be healthy for a good chunk of a season. So give him 60 days in AAA and say, if you can stay healthy and not get hurt, maybe we bring you up.
Okay. But why can't you do that on the major league roster?
We have so many left-handers. We have so many left-handed hitting people. And we need more right-handed hitting bats. We really do. So if DeLauder's here, if DeLauder makes the team, are you going to make him play center field?
Yeah.
Okay. So then Lane Thomas, if you can re-sign him, then platoons in center and right then? because you're going to need him.
That's interesting you say that, because I do want to bring back Lane Thomas.
I do too.
I think he'll be very cheap. He might even, there's talk of even like he's only going to get a minor league invite, and then it would be like if you make the major league roster, you get like $2 million. Yes.
Wow. To me, that's an insult, but I understand 100% why.
I mean, because we don't even know how he's going to recover from his foot injury.
Right.
And so I would prefer, I would like to see if Lane is healthy and you can bring him back. I think a platoon in right field with George Valera is perfect.
Yeah. But then you have Kefis and Manzardo then at first base.
And
one of them's going to
DH.
Manzardo
in first base, and one's going to DH, or you DH the
maybe
other guys, and you can give DeLauder some DH reps to keep it to not have the wear and tear on his body.
There also could be another player for the Guardians.
Yeah. So hang on. I want to give me just a moment.
No, you're good.
But
you're good.
Because I wanted to see how many guys we're up to.
Quite a few.
Because I think we're close to the 13. So we would be at 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. I think we're at 10.
Yeah, you don't have a backup catcher because we didn't say anything about Hedgie.
Well, we did Fry. But I think
Hedgie, I think, is in the front office. I think Hedgie is a coach now.
Yeah, I agree. I guess I could have added Hedges to this, but given he's a free agent, I kind of didn't, like, in terms of like you got to remove him. But I don't think Hedges is back in terms of a player.
I think he's a coach. Yeah, I think he has to be here. Make him your catching coach, or give him a job. That's what I'm saying. You need to give him a job, doing something. Have him be here. We need him here.
Okay. But who is, if Travis Bazzana, assuming he starts the season in AAA and they do some roster manipulating and service time things, who do you have starting at second base to start the season next year? Because you said no to Daniel Schneemann. And then you said on.
Because Brito is going to go play Mexican ball. And if he tears the cover off the ball, like I think he will, if he can stay healthy and he has a decent spring, he is our starting second baseman with Rocchio moving to short.
Boy, Mike, if ifs and buts, candy and nuts.
Hey, you asked my opinion. That's what I'm telling you. I think Brito had the second base job last year.
Yeah, I agree.
But he's hurt and he loses it. He's only keeping the seat warm for Travis, so that's fine. Sure. Brito can play third. He can play short. Let him play first. I don't care. He can DH for all I care.
Yeah. All right. So so let's say Brito's here, and then we get a backup catcher. You have an open roster spot for a potential free agent.
You do.
So. But I do think that the outfield conversation has changed. I think
Valera has placed his stamp on things. I think that he needs to be here, and they need to give him a full season.
But also for both DeLauder and Valera, I want an insurance policy. I mean, like in terms of like a player, because you're asking a lot of both of those guys who have had continuous nagging injuries to to produce and produce for the whole season without being hurt. So I would like an insurance policy. We're about 40 minutes in, and but there are some more things that I think that we can talk about. I had talked a bit about development, and you had mentioned like somebody like Will Benson, and we mentioned Arias, and if he goes to another team, and Nolan Jones going to another team and doing well in Colorado. I had put this out on X, and it did get some action, which was good. But I had put together the free agent classes from this offseason of all the outfielders and all the first base DH guys. So the people that we thought we were looking at in terms of veterans to bring in the market, and they were in order by their WAR from 2024. And then I also listed how many games they played in 2025 and then their OPS plus in 2025 along with their contracts. So,
Okay.
And then, so, like I said, same thing for first base. So, for example, Carlos Santana, 1 year, $12 million. We signed him. He had a 2.9 WAR in 2024. He played 124 games, and then he had a 77 OPS plus, which was 23% below average, as we mentioned earlier. So, there was a lot of talk about this playoffs, the team in general, and you needed a power bat. You needed to get a power bat this offseason. You needed to protect Jose. All of those things. And so, development aside, when posed the question of Manzardo shouldn't be batting DH, well, then who?
Right.
So I pose the same question
hole
here of this group is who were you going to sign? Would it have been who, admittedly, this was my choice of who I wanted and who I thought was going to fit on the team. Anthony Santander for 5 years, $92 million. Well, you want to know what his OPS plus was? 57. He was 43% below average. He would have crippled this team. Okay? How about a guy we've talked about plenty of times before who signed for 2 years, $37 million? Jock Peterson, 81 OPS plus, 19% below average. He wasn't going to help you.
No.
How about Tyler O'Neill, who signed with the Orioles for 3 years, $49 million? He had a 92 OPS plus. Not great.
Not great.
Not great for that kind of money. Almost a little over $15 million a year. That's a lot. How about another guy we've talked about on this show before, Mike? Michael Conforto. Would you have liked Michael Conforto? No, because he had a 79 OPS plus on the Dodgers. He's got all the protection in that lineup and couldn't produce.
Yeah.
How about Max Kepler?
No.
Signed with the Phillies, 1 year, $10 million. So a little less than what Santana did. 88 OPS plus. Another below average guy.
Yeah.
How about now you're getting into the bottom of the barrel. Your Kevin Pillars, your Alex Verdugos, Ahmed Rosario. Now, one guy that is interesting that ended up having a good season, Austin Hayes. I'm surprised we didn't give him a look.
He was in Cincinnati, correct?
He was, yeah. 1 year, $4 million, and
with
105 Tito. OPS plus. Yeah, signed with Tito.
Yeah,
all right,
he would fit here.
There's one more guy I want to mention, but I want to do the first base DHs first, because we did sign who looked to be the second best of the first base DHs that were available in Santana, and he ended up not having a good season. But you know what? We could have signed Christian Walker to a 3-year, $60 million deal, which was the same as what we signed Edwin Encarnacion for, to get a 97 OPS plus. So a 3% below average offensive hitter for $20 million. Paul Goldschmidt ended up having a good season. Signed for the same as Carlos Santana.
He's older. Yeah, he's 37. He'll be 38.
But I could have heard that one. I mean, there is one guy that, like if you were going to sign someone and play first base, but I think it was the familiarity with Santana that was part of that. And then the rest is just Justin Turner, 1 year, $6 million, 75 OPS plus.
Yeah. No.
So there is one more guy on this list that sticks out like a sore thumb that had a really good season. And you could have said, we could have used that guy. And he was a right-handed right fielder. Does that sound like something you're interested in? A guy with a 136 OPS plus this year, a right-handed right fielder. Do you know who I'm talking about, Mike?
No.
He was a free agent this year. We could have signed him for $4 million. And that's Ramon Laureano.
Oh, Ramon Laureano.
You remember Ramon Laureano?
I do.
Remember how terrible he was in Cleveland?
Yeah, he
was so bad we cut him.
Rediscovered himself.
And then he went to the Braves, I believe, after us.
Yep.
And had a great season.
And then he went to the Orioles at the trade deadline. Or no, he went to the Padres.
He was the Orioles first, then got traded to the Padres. But after Cleveland, he had an 832 OPS when he went to Atlanta. Then he had an 884 OPS with Baltimore and an 812 OPS with the Padres. With Cleveland, a 494 OPS.
Yeah,
a
he was
43 OPS plus. So now, granted, I am not saying that they should have re-signed him after he had a good year and when he went to Baltimore, because he clearly probably wasn't interested in signing with Cleveland anyway because we cut him. But that one, you have to really question why. Why did he struggle so bad here? And why is he so good now?
I don't know.
Like that is my biggest question. If I had an opportunity to interview Chernoff and interview Antonetti, that is my question to them of, first off, who are you blaming for the poor offense this season? Because last year the scapegoat was Chris Valaika.
Yeah.
Who's the scapegoat now? And you were worse.
I think it starts at the top. I really do. It's okay. The higher it's
Antonetti. Antonetti's not going anywhere.
No,
the Dolans aren't going to fire Antonetti. They're not going to fire Chernoff, or Antonetti's not going to fire Chernoff.
Are we going to have another hitting coach?
We might. I mean, I don't know. Do they move on from Grant Fink?
Was it him or was it Betances?
Well, it was Grant Fink. He's the main guy, and he was there the whole season. Betances got called up and was an assistant, and they did start to hit better when Betances did get called up from AAA. So do you move on from Fink and then go to Betances? But the thing is that the reason? Let me throw you
another name. Can I throw you another name?
The Mets guys?
No, go get me Manny Ramirez. He wants to be a hitting instructor.
Does he?
Yes. Okay. Bring him home. Bring him back to Cleveland and let him be our hitting instructor. Let's see how we do with Manny. Just having Manny in the dugout is going to be 10 times better than what it already is.
But it is also the question is that the reason? Is it as simple as the hitting coach or the hitting instructor or the philosophy? Like, what is the reason for that change, that development, and how you missed on a guy that was talked about as a major trade piece? The Padres had to give up a bunch of prospects for Ramon Laureano, a guy who was on the Guardians and was dreadful. I'm not saying that I wanted to keep Ramon Laureano because I watched plenty of him and it was bad. So, but it is interesting that he was the one free agent that was worth a damn this offseason in terms of who you could have gotten. So I bring that up because we're going to do the same thing we do every offseason and talk about the free agents we want and who we think can help this team. But this offseason was a very much buyer beware because there's a lot of junk out there for a lot of money and for guys that didn't produce. And if you wonder why sometimes they're hesitant, like you got to think back, the Josh Bell trade didn't work out, or not trade. The Josh Bell signing didn't work out very well for them. Mike Zunino, like that was only $4 million, but that didn't work out. We haven't had a lot of great free agent signings in years past. And then we were having a conversation in our group chat for the network, and somebody had said, well, why is free agency the only way to acquire? And it's clearly not, but it's hard to say who you can trade for. Like, the player has to be available. They have to like your prospects. I would love for the Guardians to package 1 million prospects and go get a guy, but it's really difficult to say if that's even feasible or if a player is even available, because I remember I think it was the 2024 trade deadline, and before they got Lane Thomas, or maybe it was even 23, but there was like 5 outfielders that Guardians Twitter was just begging the team to trade for, and none of them were moved. Well, if they're not moved, what are you going to do? So anyway, it could be an interesting offseason. I do think they'll have some wiggle room and some money to spend because the current payroll with, moving on from Bieber and guys is going to sit at like, I think about 70-ish million without any moves. And then this is assuming Class A doesn't get suspended for the rest of his life, because if he does, then you get that money back.
Yep. Same with Ortiz, correct?
Well, but Ortiz is pre-arbitration, so that's kind of a wash because if you just replace him with another pre-arb player. But even if Class A is not suspended, is he even back on the team? Do they just trade him?
Because I don't know. It's going to be an interesting. It's going to be an interesting offseason. So I have a few names really quick.
Well, hang on. There's one more. We got to talk about John Means' option because the team option. Yeah.
Pick it up.
So
pick it up. I want to see what he can do.
I just bring that up because if Class A is suspended and then they don't pick up John Means' option, you're freeing up another like $13 million. But
I think John Means deserves a chance.
Yeah,
he pitched really well down the stretch. I'm shocked that they didn't add him to the roster.
And you did bring him back for that reason, or sign him for that 2-year deal for that reason, and it's a pretty reasonable contract. I think it's 7.5 for next year, because think about like what Boyd got. What was it, like 2 for 30?
Who got shelled in game 1 of the National League Division Series?
Oh, did he? Did he get shelled?
Boyd got shelled for like 7 earned runs. Milwaukee like jumped all over him. I don't even think Boyd got out of the first.
One more name I want to bring up in terms of buyer beware, because I know some people were mad, is Alex Cobb got 1 year, $15 million, and he didn't play at all.
No.
He was hurt. So yeah. Like that's the thing is the free agent market isn't always what it's cracked up to be. But I haven't looked too much at the free agent market. There is one guy that I really have my eye on that I think fits really nicely.
I have 8 names.
I'll give you the floor. You go ahead.
I have 8 names. Are you ready? These sure. 8 could be potential game changers. Ready? The 2 that are opt-out candidates are Pete Alonso, which he's already announced that he'll opt out.
Mike, can we be realistic?
He's not coming here. I know. I'm just saying his name.
He's going to get like $100 million contract.
Having Pete Alonso hit at Progressive Field, though, would be amazing. Anyway, Alex Bregman being the other one. We already have a cornerstone at third base, but would Bregman be willing to play second base? Just throwing that out there.
I don't dislike that. That's an interesting name.
The other names. Bo Bichette, shortstop.
Is he available?
He will be a free agent. He is not currently playing with the Toronto Blue Jays. He is injured. So Ernie Clement is playing third base for the Toronto Blue Jays, and Andres Jimenez is playing shortstop for the Toronto Blue Jays.
And Ernie had a really good season. Now,
it did.
We can talk about his development.
Andres Jimenez has had a great postseason so far as well.
But he had a dreadful regular season.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I know.
But Clement took a few more years to develop after Cleveland. Toronto has developed him. So I don't hate on the Guardians as much for Big Earn as maybe some other guys. But
how about Kyle Tucker, outfielder?
Not a chance.
Not a chance.
He's going to get a huge deal.
Kyle Schwarber, not a chance.
Schwarber is interesting, but
he's an Ohio guy, which would be awesome.
He's going to get a lot of money, and I don't think he's in the Guardians' wheelhouse in terms of contracts, but also he is like, he's basically going to strictly DH. So do you want to have that position
locked up?
It feels like the Guardians like having DH open to rotate players through it.
They do.
And have that freedom. So that's why I don't think Schwarber fits, but continue.
All right.
Right now, you've given me like 3 or 4 guys that are going to get like $100+ million contracts.
How about Luis Ariz?
He's a free agent, huh?
He will be a free agent. Yes.
I like that
first baseman for the Padres. He also played second base for the Twins and the Padres. So he's an option. How about Ozuna? Marcell Ozuna. There's your power right there. Marcell Ozuna.
That might be a good one too. Arise had, all right, he had a little bit of a down year.
He did, but he was injured too.
Do you really think Ozuna's going to hit the free agent market? The Braves aren't going to.
Ozuna is on the free agent list right now.
I mean, that would be huge. That would be a really nice one, I will say.
Yeah. Yeah. Jock Peterson, but no, I don't want him. Who's the other name? If we want a catcher, JT Realmuto will be available.
Is he getting old?
Feels like
Realmuto.
And then the last one, just because I think it's funny, Eugenio Suarez.
Yeah,
but we don't need.
He's also old though, isn't he?
But he hits nukes.
All right,
this lineup
needs market nukes. Value. Ooh, I really like Ozuna. Now that you mentioned
there were
Ozuna's market value,
that
according to Spot,
the Guardians were looking to try to acquire him at the trade deadline, but we didn't have enough assets to get Atlanta to bite.
So Spotrac says his deal would be somewhere around 2 years, $27 million, and I think that's
go. Josh Bell Part 2. Come on, let's do it
for the upcoming lockout.
Do it.
And I think that makes a lot of sense.
Right there, guards ball. Let's do it.
I have one. The guy I'm interested in that you didn't mention that I think could be a good fit, but he's still playing in the playoffs.
Mm-hmm.
Do you know who I'm thinking? Yeah, you do.
No, I don't. Brian Reynolds was your man crush, but he's not in the in the playoffs.
Brian Reynolds is my man crush. Kind of like Lane Thomas.
Who's in the playoff? I don't even know. Who would it be?
Yeah, so we've talked about the center field position and like, okay, well, do you Angel's played there and Schneeman's played there, and do you trust a Lauder out there? And you mentioned George Valera. How about we just go get Trent Grisham? He's another guy that's similar value in terms. He's a little more expensive than Ozuna. It looks like. I think it was like 3 years, 45, but like 15 mil a year. I think that's in the Guardians.
But he doesn't hit. He doesn't hit lefties well because he's a lefty.
Sure, he's not the right-handed bat.
We have so many lefties. Fine, you can have Grisham if I can get Ozuna. If we can get them both, then let's go. Let's go.
I don't think that they're going to do both, only because I'm sure they want to see DeLauder and Valera.
I know.
You're right. His OPS, here's the thing though. His it's not the worst versus lefties. It's a 652 OPS, which is better than like half of the roster total.
Okay.
But he crushes right-handers 869 OPS.
Well, it was
Mike.
It was a great season.
Now that you mentioned Ozuna, I really like,
that was my guy. He'd be our DH if anything.
Ozuna.
So I'm going to throw this towel up. Here we go. Guards ball. It was a phenomenal season. Brian and I will be back. We're going to take some time. We're going to take some time away. Let the season wrap up. We'll probably jump back in before the winter meetings because that seems to be when things kind of start making headway and making headlines. We're going to give you our wish list. We'll probably do it for Christmas. We'll do our Christmas wish list. Who is Santa going to bring us?
Then we'll know a little bit more, like who's opted out, like arbitration guys. There'll be a little more. We'll know a little bit more on who's available and kind of what their market values are. So we'll do that exercise again, talking about the free agents. But I think they have some wiggle room.
They do.
We'll talk about that more coming the off season. But thank you everybody who joined us. Thank you to the Network 216 for bringing us on mid-season. We've been doing this for a little while, but now, we've got a group, and so now it's on to Cavs season. Cavs, I think, they have a preseason game tomorrow. So
they do. Basketball season starts
basketball season's here because, football season's over.
No, the Browns suck. Anyway, Guards ball. Thank you for everyone. Right. We appreciate you. It was a great season. We'll be back soon enough. Don't worry. We're not leaving for good. We're just taking a little bit of a break. We need it. Baseball's a long season. Brian, where can they find you and us?
I am at WXSHAW. I have that list of free agents up on my Twitter and all other stats and things that I like to put up there and have conversations about. We are MLB Guardcast on Facebook, at Guardcast MLB on Twitter. We are on Spotify. We are on Apple Podcast. We are on YouTube. Thank you, everybody, for joining us. Mike, where can they find you?
On Facebook and X at Mike Vorhies. We appreciate you, fans. Go Guards. Enjoy the off season, and we will see you all very, very soon. I promise.